Welcome to the Ranking Things podcast, a production of Jason Davis VoiceOver. Please visit jasondavisvoice.com for information about voiceover services for commercials, internet and corporate videos, e-learning, phone messages, and more. I'm Jason Davis.
And I'm Lino Legrotali.
Lino and I know each other for almost 40 years now, right?
Oh my God, was it that long?
I think it's pretty close to that.
That's a long time, man.
It is. And I always say that we grew up at a time when music was really awesome. I'm very grateful personally that I grew up and I was a teenager in the 80s. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's weird, but when we go through this list, you'll be able to tell how long we've been friends since, a lot of these songs are from a certain time period.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about our favorite power ballads from hard rock or heavy metal acts. Lino, you and I grew up listening to a lot of these hard rock bands, and you were actually the singer in a heavy metal band for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Delirium.
That does seem like 40 years ago, but it's not that. I don't think it's that long ago. I guess it's like over 30 years. That's for sure.
Oh, it's definitely over 30.
That's crazy.
Sure. When did Delirium end officially?
Officially, probably 34 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were playing out probably for about 6 years. We had some good openers with some nice big acts.
There's a possibility that some of the people you played with might be on our list.
You might be right. I don't know what's on your list. I had a couple that I was planning to put on my list that I remember that we played with, but let's see if it's on your list, and then we'll discuss it after that.
I'm going to let you start. What is your number 5 favorite power ballad?
All right, and this is, I think, the newest one on my list, which is very scary.
Okay.
From 1991.
All
Extreme
right.
More Than Words.
All right, that's a good choice.
Yeah, amazing song. A lot of great harmonies, awesome acoustic guitar playing, and, I just loved it. I thought it was a great song, and probably a little more mellow than I'm usually into, but I think it's a great song.
It's an interesting song, too, because Extreme was definitely like a hard rock or metal band, whatever you want to call them. But they were very different, too, because they had sort of a funky groove, like a funky vibe to them.
Right.
With a lot of their heavier stuff.
Yeah.
This song came out, and it was a gigantic hit for them. And I also remember that it came out around the same time as To Be With You by Mr. Big.
Right.
And I remember hearing a lot of people bought those albums thinking that the rest of the album was going to be similar,
right.
And it was not.
Yeah, I read that it was like almost like a curse to them because I don't think they really wanted to play it for that long, and apparently it was such a huge hit that they were kind of forced to play it. But after a while, they learned to really love the song, and I'm not even sure if they're still performing. I believe they still are, and they still do perform this song now. They
kind of went away for a little while, like a lot of bands from that era. And then there was a lot of demand for a lot of those bands. There was a certain amount of nostalgia. And they got back together with, I think, maybe a different drummer. And they've done tours here and there. I do think they are playing out now again. Maybe not touring consistently, but I think they definitely do shows. And I'm sure that song is a big part of their set.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah.
Good choice,
Thank you very much. Song. What's yours? What do you got?
So my number 5 for me, I actually went back and forth with 2 different songs. I finally decided on what number 5 was going to be for me after listening to both yesterday. So number 5 for me is Still Loving You by Scorpions.
Ah, great choice.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things about this song that make it awesome. Klaus Meine's voice.
Yeah.
There's parts of this song where he just rips your heart out, with his vocal. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And Matthias Yab's, like his guitar work on this song, especially toward the end, like sort of on the outro, he just kills it. The song, too, when I hear it, it kind of takes me back to seeing the Scorpions live. I saw the Scorpions live for the first time, sort of by accident. I was supposed to go see Dio at the Capitol Theater in Passaic.
Wow. No way.
I want to say it's probably about 1984. So we were supposed to go see Dio at the Capitol Theater. And then at that point, Dio sort of exploded. He became so popular that they canceled that show. We ended up getting tickets for Scorpions instead.
Wow.
I got to tell you, it was a great happy accident because Scorpions live, one of the best live bands ever.
Yeah.
They kill it. And their music is tailor-made for big arenas and stuff, and especially this song. And hearing the song again when I was putting together my list, it sort of brought me back to being in the arena, all the lighters. Back then it was lighters, not cell phones. Yeah. All the lighters lighting up the arena, and just the echo of the guitar and his voice, just killer. So the Love at First Sting album, I would say the biggest album for Scorpions. peaked at number 6 on the album chart in 1984, ended up going triple platinum, and it was one of the first digitally recorded heavy metal records ever released, which is kind of an interesting little song.
Wow, how about that?
I mean, that was the early days of CDs, so pretty cool. But great song, great performances by everybody in the band, and it definitely, when you hear it, it just brings you right back to one of their shows and what it's like when a big power ballad fills the arena. Power chords ringing out, everything that a hard rock band should be.
Yeah, great pick, dude.
Good stuff.
Great pick.
What do you got for number 4, my friend?
All right. We're going to go back to 1988.
Okay.
We're doing Poison, Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I've seen them in concert a couple times, and just a real good mellow song, I think.
Yeah. Poison is one of those bands that you don't realize how many hit songs they have until you start looking at a track listing on their greatest hits. They had a lot of big hits. Every Rose, obviously, the biggest, and still brings the house down. I mean, they're out on the road now with Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Def Leppard and Motley Crue, and they're killing it. So,
they're a fun band, too. Good tune, I thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you got at number 4?
Number 4 for me is Skid Row, I Remember.
There you go. There it is.
Now, did Delirium ever play with Skid Row?
Yeah, we actually opened up for them a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so, because they were pretty big locally before they broke with their album.
Yeah. They were actually, I think, the one time that we played with them, I think they just blew up at that point and actually canceled probably the third time we were going to play with them. I think we were supposed to play with them at L'Amour's, and something went down, and they didn't perform. Just a fun group of guys.
Skid Row's first album came out in '89. It was a big hit, 5 times platinum. This song, I Remember You, peaked at number 6 on the Hot 100. They had a couple of other hits from the first record. Their second record was excellent, too. They became really successful because they were opening for Bon Jovi at that time, who was gigantic.
Right.
And that came about because Snake Sabo, one of the guitar players in Skid Row, was a childhood friend of John Bon Jovi, and they kind of made a pact. Whoever made it first would bring the other one along a little bit, and that's kind of what happened. A lot of good stuff on the album. This song still gets played on the radio an awful lot, and it's powerful stuff. It has everything great that you need in a power ballad. You know, the mellow verse, the big chorus, the great guitar work. Scotty Hill, by the way, one of the most underrated guitar players, I think. He's a fantastic guitarist, and his solo on this song is great.
Right.
So that's why I chose it for number 4.
Good song.
What do you got for number 3?
Number 3. I don't know. I went a little mellower than you. I think I could have probably...
That's all right.
Probably picked some more powerful stuff.
There's no right or wrong answers. It's all subjective. Whatever your opinion is.
All right. Another one. 1987. We're getting a little older. Whitesnake, Is This Love?
Okay. Again, another great song. A great album that it comes from.
Yep. Originally, believe it or not, David Coverdale wrote it for Tina Turner, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought that
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I said, let me check out something on this, and I thought that was interesting, and obviously the video. And that was with Tawny Katane, wasn't it?
I'm trying to remember if she was in the video, too. I know she was in the video for Here I Go Again when she was doing cartwheels on the Jaguar and stuff.
My favorite video, yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Tawny Katane.
Yeah,
I mean, back, listen, the 80s, the big hair and the big everything, like in videos, the big productions, that's what it was all about.
Yeah.
Right? At that time, they were an item.
Yeah.
They were together, David Coverdale and her. But, yeah, great song. Great album.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me is Forever from Kiss.
Okay.
Of course I have to have a Kiss song in this top 5 power ballads. And I actually went back and forth between Forever from Kiss and a Paul Stanley solo song from his Live to Win album from like 2006. Ultimately, I chose Forever for a couple of reasons. First off, it's a great song. It's the last album that Eric Carr appeared on. And Bruce Kulick is a great guitar player and a huge part of history, as it were.
Yeah.
This song is actually not their biggest hit. It's close. It peaked at number 8 on the Hot 100 chart. It's the only other top 10 hit they had besides Beth, which peaked at number 7 in 1976. I Was Made for Loving You came close at number 11. But they had a number of top 40 songs, but those 3 songs were probably their biggest charting hits. But it's funny, when you talk about Kiss and you go, what's the song that's synonymous with Kiss? What song do you think of first when you say Kiss?
Rock and Roll All Night.
Exactly. Most people would probably say that. That's like, but as far as chart success, not as big, but certainly
really not as big.
I
thought that was a big
No. I think Rock and Roll Night, the live version, peaked somewhere in the 20s, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Forever, co-written by Paul Stanley and Michael Bolton. You know, Michael Bolton gets shit on by so many people. People make fun of him and everything. I think he's a talented dude.
Yeah.
And he's written a lot of hits for other people, and he had a lot of hits on his own.
Right.
I think he's a great singer, too. People talk a lot of shit about him, but he definitely knows how to write a great song.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing I read about this, and I didn't realize, Gene Simmons did not play on the track. Bruce Kulick played bass on Forever, which is kind of interesting.
No kidding. No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
How about that?
That happened a little bit, especially in the 80s, with 80s Kiss. Like, you know, I guess it depended on, you know, who was available at the time sometimes. You know, another great Kiss power ballad is I Still Love You.
Right.
Which is from the Creatures of the Night album. And Eric Carr played bass on that song. The other thing about Forever that's really cool is the acoustic guitar solo from Bruce Kulick, which is kind of unique for a power ballad.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my number 3. What do you got for number 2?
Number 2. Oh, I'm getting older. 1986. Cinderella, Nobody's Fool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you.
I like it.
I don't know if you thought of that one. I thought that was great.
No, I did not.
Really?
Actually, that's a great choice. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Good power vocals. You know, hard edge, but not too bad. You know, great stuff.
They had, I don't remember how many albums they put out total. I remember 3 off the top of my head, but I don't think they ever came close to the success that they had with the first record, which Nobody's Fool comes from.
They had a few hits on that album.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And MTV again was a big part of the success of that record.
Yeah, I love the guy's vocals. I mean, he's got a powerful voice. It was kind of, I guess,
very unique.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you got for number 2?
Number 2 is a song that I think was one of the early power ballads. This is the song that sort of opened the doors for almost every band of this genre to release a power ballad as like their second or third single from the record.
Man, I want to guess this, but I can't think.
Carrie Underwood had a hit with it in 2009.
Well, that doesn't help me.
It was featured in the 2010 movie Hot Tub Time Machine.
I don't know that. That sounds like a B movie, right?
Well, I mean, it wasn't like a big hit, but it's a fun movie.
Right.
Anyway, it's filling stadiums right now, actually.
Really?
Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home.
Oh, man, you know what? I had that on my list.
I
had it on my list, and I took it off.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm thinking, because I think I listened to it, and I'm like, you know, I don't even know if you can consider it a power ballad. I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
Because I felt like there was...
It's like one of the kings of the power ballads.
I feel like there was certain parts of the songs that got really heavy. So I'm like, I don't know if it qualifies. But that was definitely on my list.
I think it does.
Good song. Very good song.
Nikki Sixx said that the record company didn't want it on the album. It comes from the album Theater of Pain.
Right.
And the record company didn't support it when it went to radio, so it only peaked at number 37 when it first came out.
Right.
The video on MTV was a giant success. They used to do a thing on MTV called 1-800-DIAL-MTV or something like that, and it basically was an opportunity for fans to call in and request the videos that they wanted to see, and they would do like, you know, the top 5 or the top 10 or whatever. And I remember Home Sweet Home being number 1 for months. It was a huge success. Tommy Lee came up with the piano part in the beginning. I kind of feel like it's some of Mick Mars' best guitar work, too. Yeah, Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home, number 2 for me.
Wow, yeah, that's a really good... Like I said, I had it on my list, and I took it off. I scratched out a couple. I was like, I don't know, maybe a little too powerful.
What I look for in a power ballad most of the time is, does it have a mellower verse, a big chorus, and then a screaming guitar solo, and
right.
And again, if you're going to see the band live, is it a part of the concert where people are going to be holding up lighters or cell phones nowadays?
Right.
And I think that certainly Home Sweet Home would make that happen for sure. What do you got for number 1?
This might blow your mind. Lita Ford and Ozzy Osbourne, Close My Eyes Forever.
All
Did
right.
that blow your mind? Did it blow your mind or what?
I don't know if it blows my mind, but it's a good choice.
Yeah, I thought it was a good one. It was a big hit. Made it to number 8 in the U.S. Hot 100. So, yeah, it was definitely a huge hit.
I think it might have been the only time that Ozzy actually reached the top 10 on the pop charts in America. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm almost positive that that's the case. He has a lot of big songs, but on the pop charts, that's probably the only time that he's reached there.
Yeah, and I'm sure Lita helped that out. You know, that was a pleasant video to watch, if I remember.
Definitely.
Yeah. Wow, I'm surprised that you're not shocked by that one.
I mean, there's a couple of things that you could have chosen, obviously, but it's a great song.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad choice.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a duet is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Good choice, though.
Thank you very much. All right, well, drum roll, please.
Number 1 for me,
Go ahead.
Def Leppard, Love Bites.
Oh, I had that on my list too.
And why didn't you
my
choose
God,
it?
This is another one. Like I said, I was listening to it, and I'm like, I don't know. There's too much power here, you know.
But that's what we're doing. Power ballads.
Yeah,
dude.
I know. But I mean, in other words, it was like some heavier beat. I was just like, it's got to be stuff that maybe you would even, I don't know, lighter through most of the song. I don't feel like that was that. But I'll give you a couple that I kind of scratched off my list after you're done talking about this one.
All right.
Yeah, good
Well,
tune,
Love
though.
Bites. Oh,
I mean,
it's a
huge
great song.
Def
I remember
Leppard.
you being a big Def Leppard
huge.
fan back in the day.
Huge Def Leppard.
Yeah, me too. I mean, they're just a great band, and they're still killing it out there. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch any of the videos on YouTube of their current tour. You know, the stadium tour with Motley and Poison.
No, I haven't.
They still sound great, dude. I mean, even Joe Elliott's voice, as you get older, your voice changes a little
Tell
bit.
me about it.
But I got to tell you, he's figured out a way. Maybe they've lowered the keys a little bit of the songs.
Yeah, maybe.
To help him, but he sounds better than he has in a long time. They're a great live band, and listen, the amount of hits that Def Leppard has put out
God.
is just staggering for a hard rock band.
Yeah.
This was their only number one hit. The genius production of Mutt Lange is one of the reasons why this is my number one and not Motley.
Yeah.
It's just a great song, powerful, everything that you need in a power ballad, and it's just a great sounding record too. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a great documentary, Ultimate Albums, I think is what it's called. I have a DVD of it where they kind of broke down the whole Hysteria album.
Right.
And they talked about how they made all the different songs and stuff. And, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that went on before they finished Hysteria. I mean, you know, Pyromania was this giant success. Rick Allen has this car accident, loses his arm. That sets them back a few years.
Yeah.
Talking about a band that has overcome adversity.
Holy crap, yeah.
They're amazing. And the fact that they stood by him should be mentioned, too.
Yeah.
He's still kicking ass behind that drum kit with one arm. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
The fact that they were able to get that album together and that it became such a big hit after everything they went through, well-deserved.
Yeah.
Great songs.
Yeah, no, I've seen them 3 or 4 times. Never disappointed.
Yeah.
But again, one of
great
my
stuff.
favorite bands, so that would explain it.
So who did you have on your list that just missed?
Well, and the
groups
reason
songs
again they just missed because I was like maybe too heavy. One of those. I'll shoot a couple quick ones by you. I thought I was thinking about putting Metallica. Nothing Else Matters.
All right, I would totally accept that as a power ballad.
Yeah,
because it starts off sort of slow. I mean, and it builds gradually too. That's kind of cool when that happens.
Yeah.
That's another thing about the Scorpions Still Loving You. It takes time before it builds to the crescendo, and I think that's always cool.
right. What else? Aerosmith, Dream On.
Okay.
I thought that was. I was like, Again, I thought maybe it was too heavy. And then I went to Dockin' Alone Again.
I have that too on my Just Miss.
Yeah, I mean, I love that song. Miles Away by Winger.
Okay, good choice.
And then again, Skid Row. I Remember You. I have Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home on there.
Okay.
So yeah, there was a few of them that I had. I was gonna jot it down. I said, I don't know if this will qualify. So
all right. That's why I always think it's important to have like a just miss category,
Right.
because they just missed for you because you didn't think they qualified to make the top 5, but not because of not on their merit, but because you didn't think they were actually power ballads.
Exactly.
Well, you were wrong, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Not like anybody's going to be listening to this for the definitive list of the best power ballads. This is just our opinion anyway.
Exactly.
So
I'm sure
right?
people who listen to my list are like, what?
What? No, I think there's a lot of good choices on your list.
All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, I had Sister Christian by Night Ranger.
Yeah.
That was originally going to be my number 5.
Right.
Which is interesting because it peaked at number 5 on the singles chart, too. It's a great song, but for some reason, Scorpions just, when I heard it yesterday, I was like, you know what? This is a fucking great song, and it's really a perfect power ballad, and I want to put it in the top 5. So that's what knocked Night Ranger out.
Yeah. And actually,
But
I
Sister
had
Christian-
one from them also. Sentimental Street by Night Ranger. I
Okay.
love that song. And again,
Great song.
Yeah.
They're another band that's great live. One of the best live bands ever.
yeah, I actually just saw them probably a couple years ago, I think. But they sounded excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
And they have 2 lead singers in the band. I mean, Jack Blades, bass player, is the main lead singer,
Yeah.
but Kelly Kagi, the drummer,
Yeah.
does the lead vocal on Sister Christian, and he splits vocals with Jack Blades on When You Close Your Eyes.
Yeah.
Another great song.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a lot of good ones, actually. I'm probably glad that I didn't look at theirs, because I would have probably got picked up 3 out of the 5 from them. It would have been a little boring. I really like a lot of their stuff, so.
Yeah. I had a bunch of other songs, too. They didn't make my top 5, but they're all great songs. One was from Paul Stanley's 2006 solo album, Live to Win. It's a song called Second to None, which, after listening to it again, I realized structurally it's similar to Forever.
Right.
It doesn't sound like a rip-off of Forever, but it's sort of similar. But a great song, great lyrics.
Right.
Love of a Lifetime from Firehouse.
Oh, yeah. Didn't even think of that.
That was a big
that was
hit.
a good one, right.
And a great song. I remember when I was DJing years ago that a lot of people danced to that as their first dance.
Right.
2 songs from Warrant, Heaven and I Saw Red.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. There's just so many good songs.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
A couple of other Kiss songs, I Still Love You and Reason to Live.
Another, yeah.
I Still Love You from Creatures of the Night and Reason to Live from Crazy Nights. Good stuff. Had Enough and Just Take My Heart from Mr. Big.
Another good one, yeah.
The Price from Twisted Sister. The rare power ballad from those guys, but a great song. Dee Snider's vocals, very good on that song. You mentioned Alone Again from Dokken.
Yeah.
And Angel from Aerosmith.
Yeah.
One of their 80s hits.
Yeah.
And one other song that I want to mention, a shout out to Steve Brown and Trickster, Surrender.
Oh,
from their first
yeah.
record.
That's another band, yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, another band that you guys played a lot with back in the day.
We played a lot with them, yep.
China Club, Hillsdale.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah,
good
it was a lot of
times,
fun. Any other songs that you thought of?
I was thinking about Paul Stanley, too. Tonight You Belong to Me. I believe that's the name of the song, right?
From the 78 solo.
Yeah. I thought
That's
was
a
another
great
one
song.
that I thought about putting in, but I thought it was a little too upbeat toward the middle of the song.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't consider that a power ballad, only because the only real mellow part of that song is the beginning part.
Right.
And then it kind of goes into the more rock and stuff. That's a great song. In fact, if you were to ask me, what are some of your favorite Paul Stanley vocals on records, that's right up there.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, good stuff. And then I had a couple of songs from Europe, I thought. I was like, I don't even know if those are power ballads, but...
Which song?
Well, one was Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie's a power ballad.
There was a lot that missed. I could have probably made a list of 40 of them and would have questioned about 30 of them, whether they were too mellow or too,
There's no real right or wrong answers. I mean, some people might go, oh, well, that's not really a power ballad. But you know what? Who cares?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be fun. It's not really about, like I said, making the definitive list. Like, these are the power ballads that you should consider your favorite.
Right.
Because we say so. But that's, these are just the ones that really stood out for us,
Yeah.
And I don't know if, there's any of them that had a special meaning to you. We didn't mention any Bon Jovi songs, and I think the reason for that, should Bon Jovi be on this podcast of hard rock bands, or should Bon Jovi be on the next podcast of just, straightforward rock bands or, non-hard rock bands? Because Bon Jovi, I mean, they made a career out of power ballads for the most part back in the day. They've had a lot of great songs. So, like Never Say Goodbye from Slippery When Wet, Always.
Yeah.
I'll Be There For You. I mean, there's so many Bon Jovi hits from the earlier days. They've kind of evolved, That's why I didn't feel comfortable talking about them as much on this podcast, because they've kind of gotten away from hard rock stuff a little bit more.
Right. Even like Tesla, Love Song, that's a good one.
That's a great choice. Yeah. Music is such an amazing thing, too, because people always say it's a soundtrack to your life, and it really is, because a lot of times if you're feeling down, you can put on a song that meant something to you at an easier time in your life, and it kind of just brings you right there. You know?
Yeah.
And so that's the power of music. So it's great stuff.
Yeah, but definitely brought back a lot of memories talking about this.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for doing the show with me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. Let's do it again, all right?
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
All right, cool, Jay.
And thank you for joining us. The Ranking Things podcast is a production of Jason Davis VoiceOver. Again, please visit jasondavisvoice.com if you need a voice for a commercial, internet and corporate video, e-learning, phone message, and more. And remember, if you have an opinion about anything that we talk about, you can email us rankingpodcast@yahoo.com or tweet @JasonDavisVoice. Thanks for listening to the Ranking Things podcast.